Okay, welcome to the special city council meeting, Monday, December 18th. I guess we've got 9 agenda items here. Let's start with you, TJ.
I won't be long-winded since I already addressed this with all of you. My recommendation number 1 would to not fill Jane's current position as the manager, rather to revert back to what she once was the program and facilities coordinator, and then we go back to having a library coordinator back in the library. So with that, within recommendation number 2, I would look to approve the changes to the program and facilities coordinator job description. And I just have one correction on the second page there, under minimum qualifications. The last bullet point there, I just strike because we already addressed the 1-year previous customer service experience. If you're following. I added 2 in there, and I only want 1.
You're polling something? I didn't hear you.
The very last bullet point on the second page.
Oh, on the second page.
Yep.
I'm not there. Okay. Okay.
So I don't know how you guys want to approach
So-
it. Do you want to make a motion to not fill Jane's position and to approve the changes to the job description? Or
Are
what?
these job descriptions what she used previously?
Correct.
For that position?
Yep, this was the
And
established.
it worked? Good,
Yep.
okay. All right, you're just separating the job descriptions
Correct.
from manager to program director and librarian coordinator?
Yep, and the library coordinator is a brand-new job description.
And what are the hours for the library then? The librarian?
20 hours a week.
So she would be,
Part-time.
or she would be part-time. I don't know if I use the right pronouns, but anyway.
Part-time, correct.
Okay, part-timer. Okay, I'll make a motion that we approve TJ's recommendation for splitting the jobs to program and facilities coordinator and librarian coordinator, and approve the job descriptions presented.
Second.
Okay, just for clarification, is that recommendation number 1?
I'll do a second on that so we can have discussion.
Jackson seconded already.
It's all, I know.
I think what Marcia did, she just took it and made a motion for all of it, which is fine.
Can't we?
Yep.
I mean,
Yep.
it's,
That's
Okay.
perfectly fine.
That's
it
good?
all goes together.
Yep. Those are just my recommendations, just going forward, and that's fine with one motion, I think, Shari.
Okay, any other
It
comments?
didn't include any
I
of
guess
the
I
hiring
didn't,
or-
I guess I
Oh,
didn't
Sure.
approve the range job, or the
That could be maybe the second
advertising,
motion.
the range, so we'll do that in a separate
Okay.
motion.
Okay, so all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 4 in favor.
Then I guess the next motion I'd be looking for is to approve me to go out and advertise for the program facilities coordinator at the range set at 2036 and 2362 per hour, which is step 1 through 6. And then to advertise for a library coordinator, part-time library coordinator at $25 per hour. And the benefits would be prorated for that library coordinator.
Did you get that off the union contract?
For the.
The range.
Yes,
Because, well, wait,
for 20.
Jane there wouldn't be a step because that position of programs coordinator would be in the MPA, right? Or not?
This position
Or
would
is
not.
this going to be a whole change and they won't be
The program coordinator would be an AFSCME.
Ask me.
in Ask Me?
Yep,
And no longer,
not, no
like Jane
longer
is in the
MNP.
MPEAA or whatever it is.
Correct.
Okay, all right. I just wanted to make sure that
And
it
The
coordinated
library
with the,
wouldn't have benefits at 20 hours a week.
No, they can't. Okay. So no.
so we don't have to worry about the librarian because she's part-time, but, so then this job class, program and facilities director is in the union, the ASME union contract, and this is the range? Okay.
I'll make a motion that we approve the program and facilities coordinator job description advertised to hire with the range set from $20.36 to $23.62 per hour.
I'll second that, but we've already approved the job description.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
And then I'll make a motion that we advertise for the part-time librarian at $20 or 20 hours a week at $25 an hour.
I'll second that.
Okay, all in favor? Aye. Aye. Opposed?
Thank you. Just a couple of questions. Before we lose Jane to retirement, it would be nice to get someone on board, maybe 2 weeks or however long we think that new person would need to get trained in. Are you guys okay with that? I mean, I want to get these advertisements out there, obviously, get the interviews done, and then maybe follow up with you guys, go back to Jane and kind of get a feel for how long she thinks this new person would need to be on for training, and then go from there.
How long we gonna advertise, and when will you do interviews?
I mean, with the holiday season coming around, it's going to be kind of hard to get people on board. So I'm going to start advertising and set the deadline to probably middle January to late January, and then get interviews done, and then come back to you guys for a recommendation, if that's fine.
Cool.
Who are you gonna have interview?
Probably me. It'd be nice to have Jan on board, just because she
Yeah.
get a feel
Does
for.
anybody oppose Jane being at the
No.
interviews? Okay.
No.
Mike?
Mike can be involved, yeah.
When is
That's a good
Jane's
idea.
last day? When did she?
February 21st. First? I thought it was 23rd. Yeah. I think that's a Wednesday, right?
So I think you should not shoot for the end of January
Yeah.
for applications to be in.
Wasn't she February 21st?
Yeah.
So we could go, yeah,
Well,
early part of January. It's going to be tough
if
with
you
the
can
holiday
get
season.
interviews in right away, you might be okay.
Middle, huh? That gives you
Early to middle, I'll shoot for.
2 to,
I mean, right after the deadline, I can interview right away, or
Well,
a couple
yeah.
days after.
right.
Okay, I'll report back. Any more questions for me?
Just, if you have a lot of applicants, you're gonna have to do a training and experience rating form. Unless you're interviewing everybody. So just keep that in mind. I know we interviewed everybody in the Public Works thing, so there wasn't a problem, but just in case.
Sure. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, DJ. Patrick?
You have a candidate that starts out at $24.05 for salary up to $31.37. We're shooting for in the middle at $27.91, which will be step 5. If you guys want to go with that.
Did you give us a paper?
That's out of the,
Do we have a paper on this?
out of the union contract,
Yes.
and that's for the heavy equipment operators sewer.
And that's
you're
for
at-
2024, correct, Pat?
Correct.
Yep.
2024 schedule.
Oh, the 2024. Oh, yeah, because they probably wouldn't start until,
It won't be after the first year before we start.
they have to give 2 weeks notice,
Yeah, you'll have to give us 2 weeks' notice.
so we're in January anyway.
Yep.
Patrick, is that CDL, is everything
He's got everything.
up and ready to go?
Yep.
Sewer?
No sewer.
Is he gonna get trained on sewer so he can be
Yep.
part of the call or whatever you want to,
Yep.
on call?
He's ready to learn it. Actually, both the candidates that Marcia was sat in on, both of them were willing to learn the waste treatment plant.
I wasn't in on the first two, but the
No,
second
the
two.
last two, it's, one of the last two ones is the one we're looking at, so.
I was lucky, it's the two that they thought should be considered.
Great.
So,
Do you need a motion?
where are you
Yeah, I
going?
need a motion
Where are
to,
you going with it? What wage?
step
What's
5,
step-
which
step
would
five?
be
$27.91.
27.91.
Okay, how does that affect our current employees?
We're one step below Joe.
Ooh. That might
But it's
cause
probably what it's
some.
gonna take to hire him.
I know.
And they've got experience, so we could justify it?
Yeah, they both have, well, the one we're looking at today has been plowing for the county for a couple of years.
I want everyone to note, we have a county employee coming to the city of Cross Lake, not the other way around. Yay. I just wanted to note that because
No.
that's thrown in our face all the time.
So-
Go to the county.
Are you expecting any blowback with Joe?
There may be, but that's,
I know, it is kind of the,
So the only qualification the new hire doesn't have is the sewer aspect of it.
And neither does Joe. Joe doesn't have sewer either.
oh, Joe doesn't have sewer? I
He's
thought,
got D, going for
No.
C.
Does Joe have sewer license?
he's got his D.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's tried
After
for the
1
C
year.
multiple times and hasn't gotten it yet.
After 1 year,
it's kind of,
in the operations, you can go for your Class D.
Yep.
And then it's 2 years,
Then it's 2 years for your C,
and then it's
another 2 years,
2
2
years
or 3
to
years
get
for
your
your
T,
B.
your D.
B.
Or B, I'm sorry. I don't know my alphabet on Monday morning,
Don't
apparently.
admit that. Don't admit that.
Yeah, I thought he was a good candidate, and I guess he does have the experience, so we don't have to start him out on step one at all, so.
I'll make a motion to hire this candidate at $27.91 at
What's
step
his
5.
name? We can't just,
Zach,
what's his name? Last name?
What?
I'm sorry, I've drawn a blank on what his
Lord
last name is.
Johnson.
I've known him for
I would,
Make a motion, we hire
Zach.
Zach
blank, the resume
Blank.
must be out there.
at $27.91 an hour at step 5.
Second.
Okay, any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Well, I mean, Mike, do you know the last name? What? I'll make a motion that we hire Zachary Knobloch at $27.91 an hour at step 5 in the union contract.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? I should have probably mentioned that Sandy Farter is not present at this meeting, too. I should have done that at the beginning,
I assume so.
so.
We didn't take roll call, but I think the city clerk could see she wasn't here, but what, it's a note.
Okay, who is going to take the discuss wage for,
I'll take it. City of Cross Lake is seeking qualified applicants for the planning zoning. This will be to replace Peter Ganson, and I would like to get it advertised and get it going as soon as we can. The question mark is what, one of the big reasons we are losing Peter is the salary issue. He's moving on for a significant amount of money more. And I guess that's where the discussion comes from. And I'll ask it to be discussion at the front end here versus motion and so forth.
what is the range right
I was
now?
gonna say, what are we at right now again?
Okay, the range that was from that salary survey that Mike provided us all,
Yep.
and that range, if I'm in the right one, P and Z, Minnesota PEA,
And
that
Marcia,
range was from 71,000,
and I don't have that in front of me, so
Yeah.
how many,
It's-
what was the sample size on there? 'Cause
13,
I pulled it again, and it was a very, very small
yeah.
sample.
But it's an idea, it was 13 cities that contributed information to that.
Okay.
On this particular P and Z. So the range for populations of 2,000 to 5,000 is 71,531 to 91,249. The median is 79,331, and the actual average is 84,552. So that leaves it. We could go with the range, can't we just go with 71,531 to 91,249, dependent on qualifications?
I agree with that.
Okay.
Sounds fine to me.
I think I'd
Is
go
that a motion then, Marcia?
I guess I'll let you make the motion, I'll second it gladly. but
Okay. I
As
make a
long as you
motion that
started
we-
it.
Do we advertise it with a closing date of approximately January 15th, somewhere in that area? That'd be whatever that closest Friday is to that date. And then we advertise it for a salary range of $71,531 to $91,249.
I'll second that.
I would like to note that in that sample you're looking at is incomplete. In my opinion, it doesn't provide enough information to make a decision because, for a valid range, because it is so small. It does not include Breezy Point,
But
which is smaller than us.
I'm just saying that we have this survey in front of us, and and it's population 2,000 to 5,000, so we're actually midstream, so,
But I would like it noted that it's
oh,
only.
well, yeah.
only-
There was only 13 cities that responded to this particular job
Right.
description. There may not be a lot of cities that have a planning and zone director, so that could be why there's not as many respondents to that
Right,
position.
and my professional opinion on this matter is that the range we're saying is too low because I don't believe we're competitive with our neighbors
Yeah.
in that range.
What is
Noted.
the Breezy, specifically Breezy?
Specifically Breezy, their range is 3950 to 5153 for next year.
What was he hired? What were you hired at?
So that's, hang on a second. Their bottom end would be 39.
Well, I don't have a professional opinion, but I think we get a good range there. I'm not sure, but,
So their range would start at 82, 139 for next year.
well, this is this year's, so. This is 2023 range.
To 107.
So the range that you gave us was the 23 range?
This is the actual range from the survey, yeah.
Today.
Yeah.
Yeah. The
He's
range,
given you what Breezy Point pays. I
I'm giving you
think that's
Breezy
one.
Point's range for next year, which is 82 to 107.
Okay.
And we're giving people 3.5% January 1st, correct?
With that group, it's 5%.
5%.
Yep.
So what does that move that 71.5 up to?
Well, he would be at 77, 175.
And at the top?
That is the top where there's no scale for us.
But we do have a range, the 71 to 91 on here. Doesn't mean you got to start at 71. It's just giving you a range to advertise for.
Take the 91 times 5%.
$95, $550.
So basically 77,000 to 95.5 will be the estimated range for next year for us as well. I realize we only have
Yeah.
one number. I understand that.
Yeah, our only number for next year would be 77, 175.
But what we're proposing, Marcia and I, is to go to a range versus a single number. Am I correct, Marcia?
Yeah, we don't have to be at the low end, we could be
No.
at the high end, so it doesn't make a difference.
State that range at the adjusted range for next year,
Well, that's fine.
because
That's
it's not
that's
going to
fine.
take effect till next year anyway.
Well, I'd say we're not going to start them
We're
until
not
after
going to hire
24,
anyone till next year either.
January 1st.
Then, Marcia, why don't we move the range from 77,000 to 95,500 versus what I originally said? That would be 24 range.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. It
Okay.
doesn't. it
I'll
doesn't-
amend my
Can I,
motion.
also, the 15th of January is a Monday, so a Friday is the 12th or the 19th.
Is that Dr. Martin Luther King's
But
birthday?
The 15th.
I would say go to the 19th so we get applicants. So January 19th, deadline, and then use a salary range of 77,175 to 95,550.
You going to second that?
And then salary will commensurate
Oh,
with
I didn't know
experience.
if we had to do it again.
I think that's kind of an important one.
Now, that would not
I'm
be
still
subject to next year's increase though, right? We're considering.
Salary range that we're advertising to see if we can hire somebody.
I know, but the union's not gonna come back because it's 2023 now, January of 2024, say we got a 5%
Well,
increase.
we won't be hiring until in 2024, so we can set
We
it.
have an automatic 5% on January 1st anyway. That's why
We're already assuming that prior to it. We're assuming that right here.
Yes.
it's in the union contract.
He just gave that range for
Yeah.
5%.
Okay, just
Yep.
so we don't have to go up another 5%.
No, this is 2024 salaries.
So do we have a motion and a second there?
Yeah, they already did it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. And then a motion to.
I'll make a motion that we advertise for the vacancy of the zoning administrator.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Mr.
Aye.
Chair,
Oh,
can I
please.
add to that?
Sure.
I was looking at the job description, and I should have spoke up before Pete was hired, but, so there's some duties that were already being done by the administrator that I noticed aren't on the list, just to make sure you have qualifications. I don't think it would matter much, but, so I'm looking to adjust the job description.
Okay.
Do we have the job description?
I don't think we have it here.
Don't.
We can't really approve a new job description without it in front of us.
We do
Okay.
not have it here.
Are you changing it or just adding things to it?
Adding to it.
I still won't approve it until I see
Clarification.
it in front of us.
No? Okay.
Well, I mean,
There's duties that he's doing that isn't in his description because it never was even before when the city took over from the county. But they were already being done, but,
well, we should make sure we get it changed before we hire somebody.
Go
but-
over them right now?
Yeah.
In your notes, what
It-
you
it-
wanted to talk about?
it's up to you.
Yeah.
I mean, because don't you put the job description in when you advertise? So that's why I thought
I think we should hear
What
you
is it?
out.
Right.
oh, okay? You okay with that?
Yeah.
Okay, so to add,
can you put it up on-
there's language in there that to do the ordinance and to take care of those duties. One of the things I feel is not in there, but is being already done, responsible for changes to land use ordinance, procedures, and approvals.
Can we,
So-
can we throw this on the TV, please?
Put it up on the screen.
Put it on the
up on the
document
screen.
viewer, Cheryl.
No, you can't read. I've been back there scribbling.
Oh, gotcha.
Sorry, it's nothing, I was just looking through it this morning. Most of these, like I said, were already being done, just not on there. So part of what isn't in there, and... Okay, well, I can give it to you. If they...
Well, we need to hear
Oh,
it.
sorry. Responsible for changes to land use ordinance, procedures, and approvals. Maintain ARC map database and all P&Z software needs. Maintain and scan into file all subdivisions, lot line adjustments, lot consolidations, and administrative decisions. Create certificate of installation, scan and file, mail to owner, keep required septic spreadsheet updated. What? Maintain computer tracking system and proper databases for all permits and code-related issues. Backup to, this is something that I don't think Pete did because it just wasn't needed, but John used to. Backup prepared weekly deposits from all applications and submit them to the city clerk. Maintain spreadsheets for land use permits, septic design, septic compliance, variances, conditional use permits, lot line adjustments, lot line consolidations, winter window septic, winter window wetland compliance.
I'd love to see all this on paper first compared to where we're at on our,
Yeah, and this is stuff that, like I said, it's always been done anyway.
So then we can't approve it today?
no.
But we could approve that on the 29th.
Right, but then we shouldn't advertise it if we don't have a job description to put out there.
No, advertise it. We
I mean,
don't
this is,
approve
if it was like two things, I understand, but I mean, this is a whole bucket full of stuff.
It's stuff that was already being done, but, okay, yeah, whatever.
Well, you
But
said
if-
Peter
if-
wasn't doing some of it,
No, well, the
so-
only thing was the backup to deposits.
Okay.
If we wanted to change, if staff wants the job description changed to reflect what's happening, that's fine. I'm all for that. But really, it should have been prepared and sitting in front of us so we could take a look at it.
And it's not your fault that you were just now doing
Because
it. I get that. but-
You could come back and say, I said that, and it's not in there, and we have no recourse because we
yeah,
have
no,
nothing.
that's
So
fine.
we need the job description sitting in front of us.
Sure.
My opinion, if you want to have a quick
the
special
next
meeting, to
meeting, that's
approve it
next
so
week.
you can advertise, that's fine with me too, but I don't like,
I think we move forward with what we have. If you want to change the job description, then we can change it after the new person's here.
Mike, do you have any issues with what's happening now and what Cheryl's talking about?
No.
So leave it the way it is?
Those could be other duties as assigned. We could have an updated job description to clarify those.
Okay.
does it have to go through the union too? They have to get to see the
Yep, it should.
job description and.
Okay.
But if we advertise as is and stay as is.
I'm fine
for
with
the
that.
moment, I
Right.
think we move forward.
I agree.
Okay, let's do that. I'm in agreement with some of those changes you talked about, but let's wait a month.
So do we tell Cheryl to clean up her notes and submit them
I would.
and add them?
Yeah.
Submit a new job description, draft.
Yeah.
Okay,
What the changes. Thank you.
thank you.
So I believe we have a motion and a second.
Yep.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, motion carries. Okay, Chip, Fire Department.
You can put it up on this old head.
Did they get it in their packet?
You're not going to do a dance while we wait?
They've got it, okay.
Yeah, we do have it.
So I'm just up here to, Mr. Mayor and Council, looking for a motion to approve the officer positions of the Cross Lake Fire Department as of January 1st, 2024. They went through an interview process and a matrix point system of data, and we made the selections of Deputy Chief Jory Danielson, Battalion Chief Corey Ledeen, Captain Neil Lazar, Captain Seth Wanabo, Captain Ryan Gruba, Captain Reed Nelson, and Captain Joel Carlton.
I'll make a motion that, oh,
What do they get paid?
Excuse me?
Do they get paid
Yes.
for these positions?
Yes.
What are they being paid for these positions?
Deputy Chief is $500 a month, Battalion Chief is $300, and the captains get $100 a month.
any other comments? I'll make a motion that we accept the applications for officer positions. Deputy Chief Jory Danielson, Battalion Chief Corey Ledeen, Captain 1 Neil Lazar, Captain 2 Seth Wanabo, Captain 3 Ryan Gruba, Captain 4 Reed Nelson, and Captain 5 Joel Carlton.
I'll second that.
Any other discussion on it? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thanks, Chip. Okay, who wants to take the earned sick and safe time?
Isn't that a Marcia and Mike thing?
No, not me. That's not me.
I can take that. So I think we're all aware that the earned sick and safe time leave policy is something we need to put in place before, and notify staff before January 1st. Goes into effect January 1st of this year. And the short story is part-time employees are eligible for, first you have to work 80 hours to be eligible for it. So if you're a part-time employee and you work 80 hours, you're eligible for earned sick and safe time. And then the discussion comes around, how do you want to do it? There's really a couple different ways you can do it. They are eligible to earn 1 hour of earned sick and safe time for every 30 hours worked, up to a maximum of 48 hours, which can be carried over from year to year, up to 80 hours. So you can either what's called front-loading this, so you don't have to track it. You can either do 48 or 80 hours, whether you pay it out or don't pay it out, or you can just track it as earned, and there's no requirement to pay it out on termination. What we're suggesting is you approve the policy as it was written here. Shar had worked with Susan on this, and at the last council meeting, you'd received a pretty good summary of the differences between paid time off versus earned sick and safe time. So where it gets a little tricky is all employees are required to receive this, and you're supposed to award people the higher of the two. So if you already have a policy that meets this requirement, stick with your policy for like our full-time employees. So for all full-time staff, we're already in compliance with this with one exception, meaning is we would designate, it's called cross-designating the first 48 hours of your sick time as an eligible use of earned sick and safe time. So there's no additional cost. You're just saying, yeah, we're in compliance with the earned sick and safe time policy because we're already providing the minimum benefit for full-time employees. And so we're going to cross-designate that first 48 hours of sick time for that purpose. And then for the part-time employees, we're suggesting that we accrue earned sick and safe time as it's earned, 1 hour for 30 hours, up to 48, provided you've worked 80 hours.
So they accrue the 40 hours into the next year, and the maximum is 80, if you do the accrual.
If you do the accrual, help me out with this, Shar. That's right. Yep, that's
Okay,
correct.
so is this Susan's draft? Okay,
Yep.
all right.
It's real similar to the league's draft, too.
My opinion is that we go with the accrual method because I don't think there's a whole lot of them that would get that 48 hours. If you front load,
that's
if you front
correct.
load the 48 hours based on your payroll hours that you've generated from part-time and the fire department, I don't know how that's going to work, but the reason we redesignate 48 hours for the full-time people is that it is more, I don't want to say flexible, or there's more reasons on ESST than in our policy. So that's why we're designating 48 hours of our normal sick time to ESST, because they can use it for
Like for
more
snow days.
reasons.
I think one of the differences you're referring to is the earned sick and safe time is if you can't get to work because there's too much snow. You can use it for that. That was one of the differences Susan provided us.
Yeah. And I don't know how, and I'm not, I don't know how I guess I'd like Chip's thoughts on that. How are you going to use sick time in the fire department? I mean, say they get 80, say they have 85 hours, now you back up to the first hour they earned, and they have like 3 hours of sick time. Where are they going to use that? Are they going to say, well, I didn't make that call, I wasn't, there's got to be a reason here
Well,
that
I hope
probably.
they don't say that, but.
Well, no, but I mean, if they
know,
didn't make the
we've
call,
had
they were
that
doing something
conversation.
else, who's going to,
I went to training at Sourcewell last week regarding this, and there was someone there from the league and a lawyer from some firm who's been dealing with this, and they said this is not a done deal yet.
oh, so the
They're still
legislature.
working on the on-call part of this for firefighters, ambulance drivers. There's more to come.
Yeah.
So they're going to probably work some language in for on-call people.
Another time when the legislators maybe didn't think this completely through. That's just it is a public comment, isn't it, by now? Okay.
But we could track it, and then once it comes through and we figure it out, then we could,
Well, she has to track it, and we have to comply with it now until they change it, so.
See, the challenge with the fire department is they're part-time, and it's not like one of TJ's staff where they're scheduled for a shift and they can't make it because they're sick. That's easy, but for Chip, it's a little harder. Right. So what we did was we tried to figure out what our maximum exposure would be if everyone hit that minimum. I think we came up with, it'd be about $215 a person for the entire year. So it's not a huge number we're looking at, it was about $6,000 total. But we're not sure, like Shard mentioned, what would be an eligible use for a paid on-call fire person. Because if they're sick during the day and they can't go to a call, they're probably getting benefits from their full-time job rather than a sick day from the fire department, right?
Probably do it with training.
Maybe.
Maybe,
Probably do
but
it
we,
with
we just don't
training.
know yet. But now we have to.
Well, yeah, I'm going to track the hours anyway, but like you said, in the fire service, ambulance service, that's a big discussion right now, because everybody's like, what are we going to do? I mean, they can call in on a training night and say, yeah, I'm going to use my 3 hours of sick time tonight, so pay me, but I'm not going to be there.
And you require so many training days.
Yes.
So that would be a way out, right?
Yeah, but hopefully nobody will use that way out. We do have, I keep track of hours anyway already, so I'll be tracking that as well.
Nothing ever goes off without a hitch, does it?
Oh, Well,
I think,
I'll make a motion that we approve this ESST policy presented by Susan and the city clerk.
I'll second that.
Okay, any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
Okay, and then we have a notice. Item 8 is a notice, so we can notify staff of this policy.
you need a motion on that?
Correct.
Okay, I move that we notify staff by January 1st, if at all possible, all staff.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. I don't know, Shar, do you want to take this one here?
Go ahead.
I would answer any questions. Hopefully you guys read through it.
Let's say, so I thought this was gonna be just for you. Now it's split between you and planning and zoning?
This is what we proposed because planning and zoning is in desperate need of help as well.
Okay, I just was
Pleased to read through it.
wanting to make sure.
Yeah.
I'm going to just point out one more thing for council to consider. Last council meeting, we added one more hat to Shar's list of things, and it's not a hat where it's a 3-hour project, you know,
Right.
during the year. When you
Right.
get into the, if we go that way to the doing our own ballots and stuff, and that's what council voted for, that means that we have to have it open, I think it's a total of 17 days, and it has to be open 8 hours a day. And then you have to still count the ballots and there was a significant, and this year we have 3 separate elections going on. So that's a significant amount of added work that got put on her as well.
That hasn't been approved.
Well,
That hasn't been approved.
still, we voted for it. The council said yes to it, so
No
we have to
intent is to
consider it.
discuss.
Well, it's moving forward.
Right.
The county had no say in it. So
But we
now
haven't
that
been
that-
approved,
now
and
that-
the city council just said an intent to look into it. It has not been approved. I'm just saying that this is not a
That
done deal.
resolution went from you to the state.
Yeah, we've not heard back. It's not a done deal yet, and we don't even have to accept it if we decide we don't
But
want to do it.
We made a vote, and that is what that vote stated, and that's a significant increase in workload to the city clerk, if it goes through. And I'll state that clearly, if. But the thing of it is, there's a significant push to push it through. So
Right.
But it's up to
concerned, because we keep putting new hats and new hats.
I get where
new-
you're going with this, Aaron, so let's just cut to the chase. I'm all in support, as you are, I think,
Yeah,
in a deputy clerk / assistant in P and Z.
yeah, and P and Z needs the added help too. We need to
Right.
get them, stop them from having to run up to the counter, answer questions that isn't even in their area.
Wheelhouse, right.
And so forth. There's a lot of spreading out that can be done, okay? And I think it's something we have,
So you
we
don't
have to
have
address.
council action motion under this.
Well, I didn't put that there because you said you didn't really want to do this today.
Do what?
Look at this job description. Dave said he didn't want to.
Yeah, no, I guess I withdraw that statement.
Well,
But are you going to do a wage, or how are you going to advertise for it?
I think you should have your planning and zoning director that you hire included in this. I mean, in this action, how much work they want.
Cheryl and
What
I
they
are the
want.
ones that put this together because we're the ones that are going to need the help.
I was gonna say, now that it's split,
So what, do we just give you a nod that we approve of it until we come up with
I think today we would, I would like to see a vote that we send this to the union for approval, okay?
Can we-
I think to say, tell everybody, this is what we want to do, but we need to know where it falls on the wage schedule, everything else, before we do the final vote. Does that make
Was this
some sense?
considered,
I'm good with that.
was this considered in the budget?
Yeah, we put 150. Shar, did you throw in here the election stuff at all?
Must have been gone.
I did.
Okay, I'm just trying to do right, I'm just trying to do a quick look over here.
150,000 in for an assistant?
Yeah,
Where was I?
you voted for it.
150,000 for.
Yes.
Not for this position, we put it in for new positions.
Oh, I thought it was tailored to deputy clerk.
Not specifically for this, but for new positions.
Gotcha.
Right, you put the
I'll take
request
that
was to
back.
put a placeholder in the budget totaling $150,000. The decision was not made on how to split that up yet.
At the time, it was talked about 150,000 put in there for new positions, but we were talking about deputy clerk, so.
I kind of thought maybe old age was something.
No.
I don't walk that day.
I've got an appointment with the VA to get my hearing aids worked on, okay? I'm having a tough time hearing the last couple meetings, really bad.
It's all good. We'll get it figured out. I think this is good, though.
But we need a vote to move it forward for union approval and so forth.
Okay. I have to say something here is that you were talking about dividing the city administrator and the finance, and now you're throwing this in there. Where's all this going to play out? I mean, I'm not sure that I understand what we're doing. All of a sudden, we're going to have an administrator, a finance person, we're going to add an assistant.
Marcia, which one is more important today? Is it the support for the
But you have to
clerk
look
and
at,
the
okay, you're going to
P&Z,
have.
or the other way? I mean,
You just
that's
have
how I'm
to,
looking at it.
you have to have a plan. I think we're just shooting from the hip here.
Well, this all kind of started out with Shar, you know, that we needed to get her some support
No,
staff.
and we hired an assistant in the police department that originally, and I know that this was what it was going to be. It was going to be police and administration and fire
That
for
was
this person. That was way back when. I mean, we're just.
I don't ever recall it being fire or,
Well, let's back up a
Yes,
second.
Char.
it was.
So
I
what
don't remember
happened-
fire.
I'm going to go find that video, and I am going to show you, because I know it was
I
in
just
there.
remember Jen was hired on the pretense of
Prior
police.
to hiring her, that's what it was all initiated. It was, we
No.
needed help in the police department and the fire
The
department.
discussion was we all needed help.
Okay.
And possibly one person, I don't
was
think
gonna
that
say.
was ever
But we just
a
hired
real
Jen for
practical
police
idea, but
department, and
There
then if
was
we end up,
discussion, we all needed help.
and then if,
That's where it was initiated. And if you're honest, you could go back, I could find the video where the police chief and, not you, but Eric and you talked about it, and the.
I'm talking about Jen, though. I'm not talking
Saying
about,
Oh,
that this was
let's-
all initiated.
Hang on, let's just regroup for a second. So what really happened was we were looking to move towards a full-time fire chief at the time. And so what we put in the budget was half of what that would cost along with the vehicles. And that's what we decided to do to get halfway through the year. And then that whole process kind of changed, and it turned into administrative staff for police. And so we put a placeholder in there, and we hadn't decided at that time what exactly it was going to be used for. So right now, we're in a similar position where we did the budget. We put a placeholder in there for staff, whatever that means, and we're trying to figure that out now. So what this is an office assistant position, which is where we actually need help for the most bang for our dollar. And so this is where we're at today with trying to help out planning and zoning and the city clerk position and the administrative function for the city. So if I understand what we did, we're going to come back with another one of these, right, Char? And then a pay range, and then ask permission to talk to AFSCME, probably?
We'll talk to AFSCME.
Well, that's what
In between.
that's the approval I want from today.
We'll bring this back hopefully to the January meeting.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm good with that.
okay.
Yep.
Okay.
So is that a motion, or?
I move that we proceed forward with the investigation into this, what it's going to cost us, and for permission from AFSCME.
I second that.
Any other discussion on it? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
I'm impressed. Dave, 45 minutes, we rolled through 8 agenda
We're not
items.
done yet.
Well, what's left? I didn't know there was,
No, we're done.
you worried me for a minute, Dave. You're not giving you the motion.
I make a motion to adjourn.
Wait. City attorneys, will you please put that on the December 29th? Or are we what are we gonna do? Are we going to interview? What are we doing with the city attorney position?
I'd like
We
to
got two.
interview.
You'd like to interview? So we need to set that up.
Interview city attorneys.
I don't, well, I know where I want it to go, I guess, so yes, I'm okay with interviewing
Okay.
it, okay? Because you still need to, I know the one, so it's.
I get
tough
it.
for me.
Char, do you have an update on where we're at right now with the applications received through the deadline?
She gave them.
Okay, you gave them to everybody? All right, thank you.
Right here. And there's 2 of them,
Correct.
so, yeah. I haven't read through the one, I've glanced at the other one.
I can make, I can
Interview sheet?
schedule interviews, maybe for that first week
Sure.
In January?
in
You
January,
talking?
if you want.
Yep.
I'll see if they're available.
Sure. I don't care if there's Zoom or what, but
Okay.
I'll let you know.
The second thing is, I think it's time for an evaluation for the city administrator. So if we could get an evaluation form, and we could schedule that for that meeting too, December
When do all
29th.
evaluations?
can we do everybody in one gamut? I'd rather do everybody in one.
We just
All
do
we
the
do
city
is the city
administrator.
administrator.
All we do is.
Oh, that's it?
City administrator does the evaluations
Oh,
for the
okay, I
department.
thought it was, you know.
He does these other ones, and they do theirs.
Yeah,
Oh, okay, I thought we had to do.
yeah. Mike does the
No.
department heads, and the department heads do their employees.
Okay, yeah, that's fine.
So if we could get,
That's it on the 29th, correct?
right,
Okay.
no, we're gonna do the evaluation on the 29th, so,
What?
I'm
Yeah.
not in favor of that at all.
why? We gotta do it.
Yeah, we got to do it.
We do that in
We're gonna have
Sandy won't be
discussion on
back
how.
till the 29th,
Should be on the 29th.
but she won't have
No,
time to do it
Because
ahead
I
of time.
remember the last evaluation, and that was a mess. I'm just going to say it that way, it was a mess.
I know the 29th.
wanna do one?
Yes, I do.
He said he
but
wanted to
I want to
do it.
discuss the process.
I can't do it the 29th.
Oh.
I have some inventory stuff at work that I need to get done before the 1st, so I can't. Friday morning is gonna be a squeeze already, so I might have to bug out early next Friday. But it needs to be done.
Yeah, but not
Is-
on the 29th.
Do we do it before January typically or after?
Oh, we can do it January, February.
No, let's just get it done.
I agree, let's get it done, let's do it early in January, but I'm saying, that's what I was asking, does it need to be done before January?
I'll put on the agenda on the 29th to schedule a date. Then Sandy will be here, and she'll have a say on the date.
Okay.
Mike, are there forms for that evaluation that are standard forms?
You provided us with forms last time.
I provided you with forms last time, yes.
Are they
You could just
standard?
email those out to
There,
us.
nothing is standard.
If you could email us out that form, and I guess we should really know your availability. Are you going,
How
are you
does that
here
go?
the next year or the next weeks? You know what I mean?
Well,
We can't have an evaluation without you. Are you taking any
So,
vacation time?
do we do paperwork and then we meet with Mike, or how does?
No. I just would like
Okay.
to see the evaluation form prior. You bring your evaluation form in
We'll talk,
after the 29th. This is just so difficult. I just don't understand it. Just send out the evaluation form to us,
well, don't we have,
and then we'll schedule an evaluation, but I don't know why.
Yeah, let's have it.
Sandy's
before
going
the
to be here on the
29th. Aaron wants
29th.
to figure out the format of the evaluation, so we need to have the
The
form at
process,
least.
I'm not going to go through what we went through last time, Dave. That was terrible.
I don't know what you're
Well-
talking about, but.
Yes, you do.
That was a terrible circumstance was placed.
motion to adjourn.
Thank you.
No, okay. Are you you will send us out the form
You have a motion on the floor right now?
to adjourn?
Yep.
Can't,
I know, I'm just asking you, will you please send out that form?
Yeah, we'll send it out.
Thank you.
Okay, motion to adjourn with a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.